Welcome back, everyone, for another passage of Micro Reflections for the 21st Century, a collection of introspections to shift your daily perspective. And we are on week 1. We've done passage 1, the power of attention, and going into passage 2. And we're going to riff on this a little bit, have a little bit of a jam session, kind of unpack some of the ideas, concepts, frameworks, and meanings around this. And of course, this can have a whole new meaning to you, and that's what it's intended for. There's actual blank pages in the back of this book to write in and come up with your own reflections around this. And so, here we go. Passage 2. Ignorance leads to the importance of beauty, ugliness, and other qualities. It is a mistake to take the surface as all there is. There are many discrepancies between the way things appear and the way they are. We want happiness, but in our ignorance, we don't know how to achieve it. And quote, "It's not what you look at that matters. It's what you see." Henry David Thoreau. And that's a personal favorite quote of mine, or a mantra, or a passage that I like to really always remember when I am interacting with people, places, and things. It's a lens that I look through from a wide perspective on my worldview, current events, the way I philosophize ideas, and the way conversations are presented to me. It's a great lens to look through, because it's not what you look at that matters. It's what you see. So in some other terms is like, look under the hood, right? Like, get all the information before you make the rational decision, and try to make decisions from a rational, logical place versus an emotional reactivity. So respond to the things that you're presented with. Current events, situations, conversations with family, friends, loved ones, coworkers, your boss, whatever it might be. And be discerning, right? It's really important to be discerning in this world, because we're presented with so much information in this age of like technology, in this age of information that creates the age of anxiety that we are in. So it's not what you look at that matters, right? Just looking at it blindly, like, oh, that's it, right? That must be true, right? It's usually someone else's truth that's based on someone else's truth that's based on some belief system or dogmatic ideology that we're not even privy to. So pay attention, be discerning, learn to understand rather than to be understood, because it is a mistake to take the surface as all there is. It's the surface, right? Like, that's very similar to the way the toxic system that we are all exposed to, right? That is over relying on just fixing the surface, right? That could be big pharma, government, the military, industrial complex, all of those systems, right? That they fail to recognize the underlying problems and obstacles, or what I call gearboxes, that are driving the thing in the first place, driving the media, right, in the first place. And there's mass media, okay? But there's also this micro media that I call social media, right? Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, like these content creators that are just putting their own kind of spin on an idea or a concept, right? And it's really just kind of surface. What is underneath? So it's a mistake to take the surface as all there is. And how does that relate to our own life? Well, think about maybe a trigger or a reaction to something that someone said, okay? That is usually not what is to be true in that present moment. It's usually coming from a place in the past or some conditioning that we have that is making us have that reaction. So always dig deeper, like I say, is like Be the Inspector Gadget for yourself with the big magnifying glass and go to the root of the root of the root and ask those questions. Why? Okay, why? Why? There are many discrepancies between the way things appear, right? One way. It's presented, it's spun up one way, it's written on a caption, or it's spliced together and really it's nifty editing and keeps our attention. There's a lot of discrepancy between the way things appear and the way they really are, right? The way they appear, Instagram, social media, everything's beautiful. Everything's curated. Life is perfect. I'm balling out on Instagram. Look at me all in my private jet, right? Look at my lifestyle, okay? There's a big discrepancy between what that lifestyle is being presented to us than that really is, appear in the way they are. Okay, the same thing with current events, the same thing with looking out at others, right? Take some time to just observe in your day. Observe people. Observe the way people go through life and the world if you have time, right? Go sit in a cafe or in a food court somewhere or a park and just watch. Okay? It's really fascinating to do something like that. And finally, we want happiness, but in our ignorance, we don't know how to achieve it. So that kind of like ties it all in. Like everyone is trying to be happy, and however people go about being happy is up to them. Okay? And no matter how crazy, weird, zany it is, everyone has that human right to be happy and healthy in their own lives. And it's not up to us to change that. It's not up to us individually to judge those people. Okay? Even our worst enemies deserve to be happy. And however they go about gaining that happiness from them for themselves, not taking it away from others, that is up to them. And that is their duty. But a lot of times in our own ignorance, right? Our own ignorance, we just don't know how to achieve it. Do we get caught on the illusionary treadmill of reading articles and internet, people and gurus, thinking that the more information that we take in, that we're going to be happy? Do we think that more likes and comments and engagement is going to make us happy? Do we think that like having the people, places, and things, the material things in our life are going to make us happy? That's kind of like based in our ignorance. And ignorance doesn't need to be bad. It just is. So we want happiness, but in our ignorance, we don't know how to achieve it. So think of the things that make you happy and write them down, okay? And split, in your journal. Split one side. What are the external things that make me happy? And what are the internal things that make me happy? And here's a hint. What are you grateful for? And then what are some objects of your own desire that make you happy? And then decipher and be discerning between one or the other. And I bet you can find some correlations and maybe where there might be some ignorance in there of how we're pursuing happiness and it might be in the wrong direction. So ignorance leads to the importance of beauty, ugliness, and other qualities. Thanks.